So what is Être? Être is a brand new website. It is 6 weeks old, and it's designed to offer online resources to motivated middle school girls. I've always sort of felt like girls this age really do represent their most authentic self, in the sense that they know exactly what they like. They know what subjects they like the best, whether it's coding or art, languages or math. They know what resonates with them. But it's really easy, I think, as they get into high school and the white noise of the college process starts to take hold, it's easy for these things not to seem quite as cool as they did 10 minutes ago. And it's easy for these things to get abandoned. So Être locates the resources for them and highlights them for the girls so they can go do their thing and change the world. Why call it Être? Être in French means to be. And the goal here is to help these girls figure out exactly who they want to be. So the four of you are members of the Être Advisory Board, and as you know, that advisory board is all middle school girls with 1 or 2 high schoolers as well. And it's something I'm really proud of, that it's all middle schoolers. And today we're going to answer some of the questions that you guys had, and then questions that were emailed in from some other board members too. And we'll go back and forth. Some of them are going to be for me, and others are going to be for you guys. So we'll talk like that.
You always tell us to raise your hand. Were you ever embarrassed to raise your hand?
Yes, God, yes. I was always so embarrassed to raise my hand in class. And I always say, and I say it on the website, you know, raise your hands, don't lower your standards. But I really do mean that. When I was your age, I was queen of the approach the teacher after class method. I had questions, I had so many questions, and I would wait. And then I would sort of go up afterwards and ask them. And then I realized that's where the answers are. Is when you raise your hand. That's where you find all the wisdom and you learn. And you should never be embarrassed to raise your hand and ask a question, to push for a better answer than the one you got. I hated raising my hand, but then I kind of figured out that that's how you learn, and ultimately that's how you're going to lead.
Was there a reason that you were like embarrassed to raise your hand, or you just like
I think
didn't
I just
like
felt
it?
nerdy. I felt like every time the teacher said something, I had something I needed to know that was more, and I felt sort of dorky about it. And do you guys ever feel like that?
That was me in like 4th grade. I'd be like, okay, no, I'm just gonna wait till after class.
Yes.
I mean, like, I feel like I would be that one kid who always raises their hand. So I would be like so outgoing, and I just like ask a question every like 2 seconds.
But that's amazing.
Yeah.
And teachers love that.
I don't really feel like sometimes if I feel like it's kind of like not the smartest question, I just be like, never mind, I'm not even gonna ask it because it's probably not the best question.
They give out awards like most questions asked.
They do? That's such a good award. I never would have gotten that in the beginning, but it's such a good award.
Yeah.
I think everyone should, in their own minds, try to win that award, because there are no invaluable questions. But in general, for the love of God, raise your hands in class, because that's how you move forward.
Why is it so important for you to volunteer?
So I feel like it's important for people of every age to volunteer. I really do. There's always something you can give or something you can do to make someone else's life better. But I think it's especially important for girls your age to volunteer. And I feel like most people underestimate middle school girls and the impact they can, right? You feel like people underestimate the impact you can have. That's why we put all those charity finders on the website to help you. I mean, aren't there areas where you guys have volunteered somewhere, or you're thinking about doing it, that relate to something you love to do, right? Is that, like, what's an example?
Like, I help out with table to table, like,
Same.
we raise money and give it to people who don't have food.
Right? And it's so much easier to do than people think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
How did you find your passion?
So I've definitely had a lot of passions, but I think they all stem from wanting to help people. I love being a lawyer, mainly because I like helping people solve tricky problems that they can't solve themselves. But I think you actually find your passion through sometimes the right mentor. It's one thing to know that you want to help and what you want to do, but when you see an expert, when you see a mentor do that which you love but do it unbelievably well, that's what really starts your passion. That's where you go, I want to do that, and I want to do it that well like that person. Do you feel like finding a mentor is hard to do at your age? It's tricky, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Sort
hard.
of. Like, who would your mentors be? Like, who do you think?
Who's
So-
your biggest mentor?
When I was your age, one of my mentors definitely was my grandmother, who was a lawyer back when women really weren't lawyers, and she was a big influence on me. For you guys, I think, people don't always think of middle schoolers needing a mentor, but it's really great actually to find someone.
Yeah.
Mentors for you aren't anything more than people who do what you like to do, but they do it really, really well. And obviously, you run mentors by your parents or family members, and you make sure that everyone thinks this is a good mentor, because it's sort of an adult thing to go and find a mentor. It's good to sort of rely on adults to say, yes, I think that's appropriate. But I think mentors are really helpful, and if you have people interested in what you're interested in, they want to help you. And then you guys can be mentors.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's weird to think you could be, but there are definitely people younger than you who want to do what you guys are already great at.
What is one childhood moment that you will never forget?
So a childhood moment that I'll never forget. So I remember watching my grandmother give a speech, and I was probably like 7 or 8, and you could have heard a pin drop. And there were all these people listening to her, and she was speaking so passionately, and I was so little. I was like, that is how you do that. Like that, it was just like a little light bulb.
How do you deal with judgmental people?
How do I deal with judgmental people? So it's tricky. I think there will always be judgmental people. The way I deal with them and the way that might be helpful for you guys to deal with them is to always be respectful and first to listen to what they're saying. Because what sounds like judgment in the beginning might just be an opposing view. And you can always learn something from an opposing view. You don't have to hold it, but you can always learn something.
Some people comment on other people's posts why do you do this?
I know people that are judgmental, but I try to stay away from them and be with other people, because I know that people actually like me for who I am, and they don't care.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I just try to walk away or ignore it and try to think about something different. If they're trying to put me down, think about what can make me happier.
How should we keep the balance between family and friends, school, and activities?
So balance is a really important thing to strive for in your life, and it's a skill that you want to sort of develop now. There's no sort of magic template for it. You almost have to prioritize the things that are most important to you and then figure out how to fit them in. And sometimes balancing means letting one go. Putting something down is okay. It's a way of staying balanced.
So I try to do my homework, I take my time with that, and if I still have time after soccer and do my homework, then I try to hang out with my friends, but that's not always gonna work out.
I love the fact that you're even aware that you need to have that it's something you need to be able to incorporate into your life. Just knowing that puts you so far ahead of the game.
You always tell us to be inspired. Who inspires you?
Oh, who inspires me? You guys do. Yeah, you guys do. I swear. It's the fact that you are the age you are and that stuff on the Être website is resonating with you. I love the fact that we have this board and it's all middle school girls. I love the fact that you guys are reaching out and helping each other and advising each other, and not all of you go to school together, and not all the girls on the board even live in the same state, but the fact that you guys are in this and you're the age you are and as self-aware as you are inspires me every single day. I love it.